everybody out there doing? My name is Clyde, and I am a nursing student. Well, at least I am going into the nursing program. I just got accepted to the nursing program. Just finished my orientation, and so I'm super excited. I figured I would come and give some tips for some of my pre-nursing students, some things that I wish I had knew before starting the program. Just a little bit about myself, real quick. I actually am a non traditional student, so I worked full time while going for my prereqs for the nursing program. And I mean, I'll probably do another video about that, but I did maintain, was able to maintain a 4.0. And I knew exactly the school I wanted to go to, and it was my first time applying, and you know, for the life, thank you. I got in, so I'm super excited. So I just wanted to pass on some of my experience and information here on this channel. So it's just a few things again that I wish that I knew while taking my prereqs and getting ready for the nursing program. So just stay tuned and let's take this journey. Here are some tips that for some pre-nursing students. I wrote it on my tablet, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. The first thing I have is to make sure to look at all of the prerequisites that is required for the nursing program that you plan on applying to. I know some schools require a biology, some schools require chemistry. I know there were a couple of schools in my area that require chemistry and A&P and micro and your gen ed courses. Make sure you are ahead of those and make sure you get those completed before the program, because what you don't want to do is, I've seen a lot of my peers take a course and get ready to apply for the nursing program and come to find out that they were missing a prereq. So definitely just take a look at that list, check and double check that list to make sure that you are prepared, because once you get going, you don't want to have to wait another year. I know my school that I'm at, they only have one application time frame, and that's once a year. And if you miss it that one time, you have to wait a whole year before you can apply again. So that's something that you want to make sure. Really focus on those sciences, those anatomy and physiologies, the microbiology. Those are what really hold the most weight when the nursing school is making the final decision on accepting your application. Those classes, while you can apply with a C, you have to think that it's a very competitive program. So a C and probably not even a B won't fly with getting into the nursing program, especially if there's a ton of applicants applying. So focus on those, on your A&P 1 and 2. Focus on your chemistries and your microbiology. Those will really get you in the door. The next thing is go ahead and start prepping for whatever entrance exam that you'll have to take. A lot of times, what I've seen is, and this is from personal experience, my school, we had to take the Kaplan test, and there was not a lot of information out there for the Kaplan nursing entrance exam. There were a lot of HESI and T's, but there wasn't a lot of just information. So make sure you know what test the school or schools that you are planning to apply to. Make sure to see what type of entrance exam they require, and just start preparing. That way, you can just get a little bit at a time. And if once it's time to take it, make sure you schedule your test at least 60 days before the application deadline. The reason why I say this is because a lot of the tests, like the T's and the Kaplan and the Hesse, there has to be at least a 30-day window between when you take your first attempt to when you take a second attempt. You don't want to be one of those students who takes it once right before the application deadline, and if the score isn't that good, you don't want to miss out. You want to be able to take it twice, even if you get a good score. I scored pretty high on my Kaplan, and I still took it a second time because that second attempt is something that will kind of set me apart from the applicant pool, especially if is a situation where you're dealing with someone like I said, like myself, who has a 4.0, and there's other students with a 4.0. They're going to go to the next thing, which would in fact be the entrance exam. So just make sure you are aware of the entrance exams that your schools require. Go ahead and start studying. It doesn't have to be any heavy studying, but just look at it at least once a week. Get you some materials off Amazon. For my book, I actually did get it from Amazon. I actually ended up studying for the T's and I studied for the Kaplan. I'll link it down in the description box for you. But go ahead and start studying now. That way you don't have to rush and try to cram it when it's time to take the test. The next thing I want to talk about is making sure that you develop your study habits now. It is so important for you to go ahead and get into the habit of studying. I'm sure everyone knows that nursing school is intense. It is super intense, and it's not something that can be taken lightly. I mean, if you get behind just one day of studying in nursing school, it could cost you the difference between, passing grade and a failing grade. One thing that someone has told me is that those AMPs, micros, chemistries, those are actually preparing you for the program. Though this is the way I look at it. My school, in particular, where I took my prereqs, the anatomy and physiology courses were super, super hard. I mean, it was so much information, and if you're someone like me who worked 40 plus hours a week and still went to school, and was able to maintain an A, I did it by prioritizing my work, and making good notes. You don't want to be one of those students who gets into the nursing program because maybe you have a great memory, or maybe you're someone who maybe the class wasn't as hard. I've heard stories where the anatomy and physiology classes are not as intense. You don't want to be one of those students who think that you are going to be able to just cruise through the nursing program. It's just not going to work that way. Nursing school is intense. If nursing school was so easy, anyone would be able to get in, and that's just not the case. So make sure that you are starting now with getting good notes, making sure you're learning what type of learner that you are. Are you a visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Are you do you have to do things? Do you have to physically do things in order to learn? Find out your strengths, find out your weaknesses, so that way you can maximize your strengths to kind of cover for your weaknesses. I'll give you an example. I hate studying. I absolutely hate studying. I think, it is the most boring thing in the world. But one thing that I did to kind of maximize, the efficiency of my study is I got in a study group. I had an amazing study group. and we just bounce information off of each other. Some people don't work well in groups, and that's fine, especially for your prereqs. That's fine. But I know me personally, I like to teach the material because I know if I can teach the material, then I know that I know the material. But definitely start developing and solidifying your study habits now, which kind of piggybacks to my next point, which is get a planner. I know it seems kind of archaic or old school, but get a planner because with the rush of assignments that's going to come in nursing school, you've already got a taste of it with your prereqs if you have taken, anatomy and physiology, and if you haven't, then get ready because it is going to be an influx of information, and it even doubles for those students who are taking that AMP over the summer. But for just the standard length semesters, you want to make sure that you have a planner. I have everything on my tablet. Everything is on my tablet because um, if I don't, record it here, what's due, um, what dates I am going to study, what times I'm going to study, what times I'm going to hang out. I mean, I literally have to prioritize everything in my planner because if I don't, something will get missed. And I only know it's going to get even more intense um, in nursing school. So go ahead and start now. Just, some people like paper calendars, paper planners. I prefer an electronic planner, but go ahead and, whatever works for you. But go ahead and make sure, set your reminders, set your alarms. It's all worth it. And that's going to bring me to the kind of the close of the video is you are going to be able to do it. You are going to be an amazing nurse. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I doubted myself so much every time I took a test and I got the grade, and before we got the grade back, I always stressed, be confident, be secure. As long as you study and as long as you put forth your best effort, there's no reason why you won't be able to get into the nursing program. I'm living proof. I mean, I did not expect to, you know, get into the program, nevertheless, get into the program with a 4.0 GPA. So that was super exciting. Just do it. Like I said earlier, nursing is not easy, but it's not made for everyone. If it's something that you really want to do and if it's your passion, go ahead and follow your dreams and, get to the end. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. The next person may have a 4.0, but make sure that you are your best you. That's what I would recommend. And as long as just keep moving forward, keep pushing forward, keep your eye on the end goal. The end goal is to become a registered nurse. If you're going to become a registered nurse, you got to put in some work. You wouldn't want a nurse that had, mediocre grades or, not a lot of meticulous attention to detail. You want someone who has those good grades taking care of you. So be that best nurse, and as long as you can follow those things, follow these tips, get a study planner, get a study group, stay on top of those prereqs, kind of start peeking at those entrance exams so you're not overwhelmed at the end. And also just stay encouraged. And if you can do those things, I'm sure you'll be a nurse. I want to go ahead, if you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section. And if you have any ideas for any future videos, go ahead and also leave it down in the comment section and message me if you have any questions. I answer all of my information. Go ahead and connect with me. I am Life with Clyde on Instagram, and I am Clyde Lewis on Facebook. and Life with Clyde on Twitter. I don't even know if anyone still uses Twitter, but let's go ahead and go on this journey together. I'm going to be vlogging, and I am going to, you know, put up different tips and habits. And if there's anything specifically that you want to know, leave it down in the description box. And until next week, sayonara.